Okay. This is Douglas DeBecker with Fallen Wisdom Institute. I'm again connecting here with Dr. Horacio Roa. Horacio, thank you for joining us again and continuing to unfold an incredible integration that you've put together from your studies and your clinical experience. Again, how long have you been practicing? For 30 years or something, or?
Well, I'm 58 and I start at my 24,
Okay, so 46. Yeah.
30, 30 something years. What happened is coming from Paraguayan family, South American Guaraníes, Paraguayans, Bolivians, and Brazilians. We immigrate to Buenos Aires, Argentina. We are poor countries, Indians, South American Indians, and the only way we can survive is keeping the tradition. Then the use of herbs and food and common sense is part of our life, is normal, is common, is not really something special. Then when I growing up, I realized I have a lot of information, experience, and being in healing coming from my family, my grandfather and my mother, and the lifestyle of our community. Then I growing up in Buenos Aires, which we was a community of almost 300 families from Paraguay, and the main core was Indians. Then to understand healing um, was actually a need. Then
Mm.
my my understanding about to learn and get education and get experience is based in your needs. Then we're going to work today in the fourth lecture from 10th we have planning to do, and that is actually for new healers and for healer. And I try to share experience, practical experience for healing art. Then in the previous lectures, I talk about how we develop a projects based in the understanding of yin and yang, and how yin and yang produce actually only six kind of combinations, and these six kind of combinations produce all the process we know. Then the last time I talking about this process practically, and for healers is very important to understand how we develop the process of healing. And the process of healing is internal process, and is basically to learn to become love. Then to understand love, to understand chi, to understand the healing energy is the same understanding.
Mm.
Then the way to understand love is when you don't looking for love, you don't expect love from the external world, and you don't looking for give your love. Then when I talking in the first lecture about the yin and yang, I talking about the creations of things. In order to healing people, you need to create love. This is the main energy. But you cannot really be in the search of love or in the search to give love. You need to be. Then in the process to be, we're talking about the chakra of the heart. This is the thymus gland is in the chest between your nipples, and was the more important gland for the Egyptians. Was not the pineal gland like the Chinese uh, say and the Chinese teach. Actually, the pineal gland is more a gland for the mind, but the thymus gland is the gland for the heart. Then something I guide to new healers is to develop the thymus gland. Means this called the high emotional center. In order to be in the higher emotional center, you need to understand how to develop compassion. And compassion is a pure external consideration when you don't inner consider yourself, you external consider others. But this need to be done right. What I mean is, in order to create a healing energy, again, I repeat, you need to be love. You need to have love and be love. You cannot to recreate this energy in any other ways, and that is actually a physical, chemical, biologic energy coming from the thymus gland. Then when you touch somebody, when you project your chi, it's not only a instinctive electrical biologic energy, which is Chinese show. If you look martial art or jiatsu practitioners or how people handle the chi, you can see Chinese people burning paper with the chi. But this is instinctive, a movie center energy. Then from the beginning, when you want to healing people, the honest drive for a healer is to become love. Then you're looking for become a healer because you're looking for meet, become, and be love. The higher achievement for a healer is not really healing others. The higher achievement for a healer is through others to connect with love. Then love is energy, and it's a cosmic energy we don't need to understand. We cannot understand, but we can handle. We can use it. We can understand it in certain level. But the more important factor for this energy is self-love, is self-care, is self-healing, is be in connection with yourself. And that's what's coming the lecture for healers. And that is the topic actually today, is the relationship with illness and the relationship with pain, and how you deal daily with the pain and the illness of your client. you make a statement, you create a professional performance when you have a clear idea which is the reason of the pain and the illness of your clients, and which is your position when you deal with pain and illness. Then at this point, we need to compare with other practitioners. We need to compare with other philosophies. We need to compare with other schools. This is one way how humans we define our way when you compare with other ways. Then we don't want to give a chair. We don't want to make it comfortable the clients. We don't want to give easy solutions. Then we want, like healers, to teach to walk, to deal with uncomfort, to learn how to suffer, to transform pain, to transform suffering. And if you cannot to transform pain and suffering, you need to learn to transform yourself. Then healers, we have a big responsibility because we cannot to become aspirin, and at the same time, we need to be aspirin. We need to comfort the client and we need to release pain, but at the same time, we cannot to do that. Let's see how you can understand that. But it's a balance. It's a balance where my son the other day asked me, Dad, why you don't healing people? Why you don't do the magic and the miraculous? You know how to fix people. Why too much suffering? My son is 12. And I looked at him and I said, even if I can do the magic and I save everybody from pain, it will be a crime because you take away the possibility to growing up. Then for new healers, the position on illness and pain, when you have somebody in front of you is sick and is in pain and you want to be a healer, you need to know this person is growing up and you growing up with him. And each decision you take when you touch the client and when you're recommending herbs or a diet or exercises, your first impulse, a natural impulse and a wrong one, will be to save your client from pain. Don't do that. Think it twice. Then the client and you, they got a pain for growing up. If you stop the pain, you stop growth process. And you have the responsibility on that. You are responsible to stop the growth process, so help for the person keep growing up. But something you need to know, if you will do the same thing on yourself, because this is the commitment you have. Each time you have a client in your office, the reason why you have a client in your office is because the client is coming to tell to you what you need to improve. It's not the other way. Don't sleep. It's not the other way. You are not going to tell the person how to improve. It's not like that. The client is coming to give you a lecture. It's a mirror. And you attract to him because you are doing something wrong from the beginning. Then the position front of to illness and pain when you are practice is you are the client. You are the sick one. You are who need to improve. You are who need to eat better, who need to sleep better, who need to love better, who need to speak better, who need to have more discipline and do your yoga and improve your energy. The clients coming to request to you that in order you keep practicing. And this is the only way you can attract clients. Not one is not with a paper on the wall. Doesn't matter how much degrees you have, how much you think you know. It's about your being. The level of your being attracts your life. You're going to attract who you are. And if you want to become a healer, you need to be a real one. And the real healer first is the first sick one, is the first weak one. Is healers we are who really need to heal. And if you are honest in the healing process, you are in the head of the healing program. Then the position front of to illness and pain need to be a mirror, first of all. And that's why I request to my students to become my clients and learn self-healing. Then you need to know how to handle pain without aspirin and herbs. And don't looking for the magic remedy and the magic pill and the magic formula for slow down your inflammation or your depression or your pain. Then it's very important when we try to open a practice to don't copy wrong. You don't want to use herbs, diet, exercise, and remedies like regular doctors fighting with illness. You don't want to fight with illness. Then it's important to understand we are the illness. Then if you fight with illness, you fight with yourself and you're going to end into killing yourself because you want to kill your illness, which is you. Doesn't make sense. Then we need to explain to the client, we are not healing illness. We are healing the situation. We are healing you, but this is growing up. Then when we do jiatsu, a massage therapy, when we do any kind of therapy and we put our hands on the client, we project all these ideas or we don't. Then our position in our practice, we are naked. Then people keep coming because you are naked or not. And you can do one session or two. Or you can do 3,000 or 5,000 sessions. I have clients for 15 years keep coming to my practice. And somebody asked me, you never healing them? Why they keep coming? Yes, I healing them, but I healing new things. But they understand it's not about healing, it's about growing up together, and they want to do that with me because they see I growing up with them. and that's why they keep coming. Then you cannot to treat illness like it's something bad. Nothing is bad in illness because it's life. Then if you say illness is bad, you say life is bad. And that is very important attitude for new healers. To make a friendship with illness is your business. Then illness is your business, is your friend. And you don't really want nobody get sick. You I don't want illness. I don't want pain. I don't want death. I am like you. I like to have fun and eat sugar and drink and don't have any discipline. I am not different. The only probably different is I remember my pain. Then the only difference between one person and another is not what you know. The difference is what you remember. Then in order to have conscious, you need to have memory. And that's why it's not consciousness in this world. Because people only like to remember what they like to remember. Then in order to become a healer, you need to have a very good memory. Know your betrayer, which is don't want to remember. But you need to remember. And remember is hurt if you keep doing the cheese and the meat and the sugar and the beer and don't do exercise, it's going to hurt. Then there is a psychology in uh, which is I recommend it to read is Gustav Jung. Carl Gustav Jung is one of my mentors. I actually did a school for 4 years in Buenos Aires. And I took one of the more important statements from him. Jung said, illness is not a sickness. Illness is a state of confusion. We are not sick, we are confused. But at the same is when we're growing up. When we're growing up from one step to another and between, the pain is the confusion. But more alive you keep your confusion, more in essence you are, and more alive you are. A confused man is alive. Never be sure about anything. Then confusion is painful, but you are alive. And this is what we need to share with our clients. We need to show them when it's not pain, it's not life. Then pain is a bridge with the present reality. If you keep your pain, the minimal ones, and you don't try to escape from them, your pain is a teacher and your illness is a doctor. Then for healers and for no healers, It's very important which one is your attitude when you are in pain and when you are sick. Try to don't escape. The first action is try to get rid of it, of the pain. Try to don't do that. Stop. Stop with the herb. Stop with the aspirin. Stop with the opium. Stop with the yoga. Stop with the fasting. Go into the pain and learn. And stay with the pain how much you can. And you're going to get the knowledge, you're going to understand. But the more important thing about the pain is next time you're going to think twice. And if you discover the cause of your pain, you don't going to have this pain anymore. But if you numb the pain, you're going to babysit the pain forever and get a big one. Then this message is for new healers, for healers, and for people who want to heal. And the key word is growing up. It's no sickness, it's no illness. It's only a process of growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Horacio. Is that it for this lesson, this part?
Yeah, this is the number fourth, and the number fifth is already, I will bring a model because it's Reiki and actually different hands technique how to project the chi. But before I teach how to project the chi, I need to be sure you are producing the right product to project.
Very good. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I will stop the recording.